Like I said, we're gonna go through this pretty fast, and I do want to get up at a reasonable time tomorrow to play the new season. I honestly thought when I saw this character concept on the surface is just kind of just like a really power crept like Wraith. Don't want to say Ashe. She doesn't really serve the same purpose as Ashe, but Ashe just kind of sucks. Let's be real. Anyways, I think this character could actually have some crazy insane use, and I'm going to talk about why. We'll go through like the surface level reasons why. Obviously her Q, her Void Passage, can be used for some pretty crazy things, can get through buildings. When I think about this ability, right, think about a lot of zones, assuming you get to like the end, right? Like I'm thinking turbo late game. Like think about a lot of zones where you're kind of in like a really shit spot and you have nowhere else to go. Like you're behind a wall, you're behind several walls, and you have only one way to go, right? And you don't want to like go there because you know you're just gonna like die. Or say like you're on the inside of like, who was it? I think it was Crazy Raccoon in Losers Bracket, was it? They were inside Down Beast on land, and they needed like 2 points to like overtake Alliance or something to not go to not get eliminated. I forget exactly, something like that, right? But they're inside Down Beast. You can't leave to go outside and go to rotate in the zone. They literally have to sit there and pray to God teams die, right? Say you're in one of those situations. Her Q like literally just bails you out of that, right? Like you can play these really cheesy endgame spots where you don't have any options, and then all of a sudden her Q can give you options. And from what I saw too in the animations, it's almost instantaneous, right? You go through instantly, you get a little bit of void vision, so you're not like, you don't just get fried right out of the gate without any kind of counterplay. Like it has a bit of a safety net, right? So end games I think can be really interesting with her. Especially, I mean, the Void Passage seems pretty instantaneous, but I'm hoping you can't dodge damage with it, like ring damage like you can with Wraith. Because if you have like a lot of altars in the end game and everyone's just jumping through portals like it's fucking Splitgate, that could be a problem. Anyways, so I'm hoping ring damage still does persist. That's like one quick way you can do her, like have use of with her outside of the obvious uses where she has. I'm wondering how easy it is to like shoot. Can you shoot if you're like underneath, for example? Can you shoot like a Void Passage straight up above you, and if like someone's standing on it, it just teleports them down? Like, can you like do like vertical kidnaps like that? Because that'd be insane. Again, I don't know, but that would be insane. I think it's one way. It's not one way. You can go back and forth on it. It is not like an Ashe portal. That I know. You can set it. It lasts for 15 seconds, and then you can go in and out as many times as you want. And other teams can use it too. That's one really good use of it. All of a sudden the low ground becomes really strong. I would imagine it's not that easy, or like maybe there's like a bit of a grace period on the other end before you actually go in. The big one though, if you watched the mainstream, we did a segment during Winners Bracket, I think it was. We did a segment where we talked to the designer of Altar, Ian Holcomb, I think was his name. Really bad with names, sorry. And he teased that there are certain, like, for lack of a better word, there are certain lineups that you can do with her Q that can make you traverse like insane amounts of terrain. Basically, like one of them is, from what I think he told me, like you can be on World's Edge, you could be north of Harvester, like on the other side of the big mountain on Harvester, and you can Q through the entire mountain and get into Harvester. Ian Holstead, yeah, that's right. Thank you. So that opens up the door for a lot of crazy rotates. But he basically said like you can Q from like here all the way through to here as a rotate. Which is crazy. that is wild for just a tactical ability, right? Not even like an ult or anything. So that's why I think that aside from the obvious uses of her Q, that's why I think that the character has some potential. Like being able to traverse terrain, position your team pretty well, like even through like now, like through a new way, right? Like you can create an entrance into any building. Whichever way you want it, right? You don't have to go through a door. Obviously, if you're pushing a team, you can't just go through the portal. But like even like the snakes, these like little snakes in Harvester, right? Like one of the situations I was actually thinking of in my head was like this end zone, right? Like if you're right here and you have no verticality in this like little nook, let me zoom in for YouTube's sake. I got you, Rain, I got you. Like if you're like this, right? If you've played this end zone or played in this area at all, you'll know that like standing right here is actually too low to climb up to the roof. So like you can, unless you have like Horizon or anything else with verticality, you pretty much only have to go this way and people are gonna be waiting for it, right? But with Altar, at any point, if you want to, you can just queue anywhere like on this wall and then go in on the other side, which is like, there's some good team play there, team like rotate play there. Like all of a sudden, this team that's in here usually is like super safe and guaranteed. Granted, they'll be watching for it if they know if Altar's decent and people use her. They'll be watching for it, but like you could, I think there's like a doorway here, one of those like weird doorways. Like you could probably like queue this way into like right in the doorway, so you have like a little bit of cover. Like there's a lot of crazy shit I feel like you could really do with this character. she's gonna have a lot of creativity, and people who are really good at it will definitely shine. Her ult, I'm still not entirely sure exactly how it works, like the finite thing, like the small little things about it. I know you basically place it down, and then you can channel something, and then everyone can teleport back there, and you can do it while you're knocked, which is pretty cool. I don't know how it works in terms of like, I know you have to like destroy it because it has HP. And you can make it like infinite, but I don't know like how much HP it has, how easy it is to shoot. I don't know any of that, right? So the use cases I can just think of, this just reminds me of Wraith Portal, at least when I'm thinking about purely competitive. One thing that people used to do a lot of Wraith Portals for, if you didn't watch Wraith when she was meta in comp, is you'd be playing zone, or you'd be playing a spot in zone, and Wraith Portal, I don't remember exactly, I'm just gonna guess it's like 3 minutes. Wraith Portal cooldown's like, say 3 minutes, and if you know that you're not going to need to move within the next 3 minutes, if you know you have like several that you're in zone for the next several spots, then what a lot of people used to do as Wraith is they would portal to find opportunities. Whether they'd portal for loot, if they saw a death box somewhere out in the open, they'd portal for potential solo play third parties, or getting off angles on people. They'd portal for packages, stuff like that. So like this is kind of like that. It's obviously not as instantaneous. You have to like sit there and kind of channel it. So, but if used properly, I could see this being like obviously pretty strong. Being able to just come back, depending on how easy the ult is to kill, I could see this being really strong. We saw her perk trees on the stream, as Ian also mentioned. Ult cooldown, I think most people are just gonna go Void Vision. That just seems way better than the other one. Ult cooldown, like, don't get me wrong, is good. It's boring too, but it's a good perk, but extending highlights and seeing health bars after exiting tactical is really strong. That is really strong. I don't remember if I asked him on stream or if I asked him off stream, but I did ask Ian, does this work for your teammates as well? Like, does it empower your portals so your teammates see it? And he said no, it's just for the altar player, which is good because otherwise they'd be f***ing broken. But yeah, so this does, I think it's for a 1.5 seconds too, if I remember correctly, but I'm sure you guys saw videos on it. Level 3 is purple upgrade is Eternal Nexus. Void Nexus no longer times out. That's her ult. And then reduce tack cooldown by 10 seconds. Okay. I can't say for sure on this one yet because again, I don't know numbers. I haven't played around with her. I'd have to like try it out a little bit. Both seem good. I think if you're playing comp, this one is probably gonna be the one that you use mostly. I think if you're playing like ranked in pubs, you're probably gonna want to do this one more, the attack cooldown, only because like if you're playing ranked in pubs, especially if you're not playing with a coordinated team, I can imagine you'd be anchoring in a spot for so long that you need your ult to be infinite. You know what I mean? This one, I think in comp, you'd be playing this one 100% of the time. Because I know with Gold Helmet and I know with the perk upgrade, I know you can make her portal times have like 100% uptime, where as soon as it runs out, you can put out another one. But that doesn't seem necessary in comp unless you're like looking to fight like crazy and literally play split gate in Apex Legends. But anyways, I think she's cool. I think she has potential in comp. I don't think she's gonna be like a face roll, just throw somebody on her character and like it'll do well. I think the character is probably going to require a lot of nuance. I think she has some very powerful repositioning capabilities, both offensively and defensively. I think she could be pretty good. I've heard there's maybe bang nerfs. I could be wrong. We'll see. It all depends on the meta, like the legend meta, and what you need and what you don't need. Because she seems really strong, period, like regardless. A lot of legends in this game are really f***ing strong. The thing is, some of them just don't bring enough to the table to sub out what already the current comp meta characters do. Solo Takeover. I actually didn't even watch the Solo Showdown. So the only things I saw from Solo Takeover was all the event stuff. It looks fun though, I can't lie. I'm really excited. If you didn't play solos back in the day, because it was available a really long time ago, all it was a normal game, just solos, and it was still fun. This seems like a way better version of it. There's like a respawn token, there's HP healing on kill, full kitted guns. It seems like it's gonna be really fun. I am probably gonna play the living shit out of this. It seems like a really good time. So, Broken Moon, Kings Canyon, World's Edge. That's a troublesome map rotation for some, I think. I haven't seen any of the new Broken Moon outside of the trailer. I think this map has a lot of potential. I'm not on like the massive Broken Moon hater train like everyone else. To me, this map is in the middle, literally, for both ranked pubs and comp. I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's the best. I think it's smack dab in the middle. It could be way better. Definitely could be way worse. I know some people probably don't believe that, but I literally, in all aspects, I think it's dead set in the middle. Do we want to go through it? Let's look at this. Let's see if we want to go through this, actually. I don't know how much they go into. Oh, they're taking out Promenade like completely. Okay, that's huge. Cool concept. Fucking sucked. It actually killed the tempo of the map so much. Like the fights, when you got into like really big scraps there, they could be fun, but I think it's just a harmful POI for the whole map. It clogs up the map so hard because it is sometimes for like a really long stretch of the map, that's the only way to get through that area of the map, which I think is always bad. You shouldn't always funnel everything into one massive area. What the hell is it? Like, look at this shit. Like, all this entire area, you have to go through Promenade if you want to get to the other side. I think it's so fucking bad. It's a cool concept, it's a cool idea, but in practice, all it did was get a lot of squads killed here, and it felt like nobody fought anywhere else. It felt like the rest of the map was bare bones. So that's actually really cool. I like that. This POI looks pretty sick too. This might be like new streamer building or something. I could see that. That's oh, Breaker Wharf. Oh, interesting. Are they doing like an aquatic theme to this shit? It's a fucking moon. I mean, I know that was kind of, I don't know, it's weird. Yeah. Okay, so this is the northeast. I mean, that looks better, honestly. I kind of want them to open the map up a little bit more. Although I'm not like a huge fan of this building style. That building style is over here. It's kind of like whatever to me, but spaceport. Oh, they added a massive wall there. Interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about it because I kind of really like this area of the map. Although it was very open. I wonder if okay, yeah, so the POI, I think it looks like the POI is still back here. This one. I guess I just wanted to close it off a little bit. It was really open, but I did kind of like it. Not sure how much I like that area. This area looks cool though. I like this. I definitely like this area a lot. But I'm not sure how I feel about them just throwing in a massive wall there. Alright, cliffside. Oh, wait, wow, they did a lot to this map. Holy shit. Like, normally it's just like a new POI or two, but like, artistically, they changed a lot on this map. Seems like the radar antenna is still there, so it looks like they're closing up a little bit of the maps, like it was too open. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think the map being open was its problem. That's cool. So they put another big wall there. I mean, I'll take another just random POI. Because this is obviously, this area right here is not a POI, so it's not bad, not bad. Underpass. I also like the lighting. I like the lighting a lot on this new map. It's like kind of like, just have like a kind of underwater feel. No, I don't mind the zip rails. The zip rails aren't my problem with this map. I just think it just didn't have... We played a couple games, some tourney we played on this map, and my team was won all the games on it, just saying. I'm trying to like dig back and think about what I really didn't like on this map. I don't mind the zip rails. What I don't like though is I don't like where the zip rails end. I don't like that there's just massive buildings, like stations. Like, I get it thematically, it makes sense. I don't like that all of them end in buildings that are so ratable, you know what I mean? And like, you can hear people coming from a mile away on the zip rails. So I don't like that. I do wish they had some visual indicator. I've actually said this since the beginning of Broken Moon. I wish there was a visual indicator of people on the zip rails, because sometimes they don't have audio, right? I wouldn't mind like these, like all these little blue lights. I wouldn't mind them turning like red when someone's on them, or like blinking when somebody's on the zip rail, you know? Just like some kind of indicator, because man, does it fucking suck when you turn around and all of a sudden the Avengers are hopping off the zip rail right behind you and you're just fucking dead. Again, another part of the map where I was visited maybe 3 times. But I guess like now that these areas are getting a lot more things, I could see a lot more zones ending around these areas. They like to do that a lot, and I don't blame them. You know, when they make map updates, they like to make a lot of zones in the area, you know, to kind of force people into playing there, which isn't a bad idea. What the hell is this all about? Where is this? Hazmat tunnel? Where is this on the normal map? Am I stupid? Oh, that's 2 sides. Okay, so this is both new. I was like, I've never seen this. I've played a decent bit of Broken Moon. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Maybe I should read, right? So they're showing new rotates. Okay, Hazmat tunnel is a new rotation that connects Quarantine Zone and Terraformer. Which are... Terraformer, that was like the big streamer building type place, right? That's what Terraform... That was... Like, this was Terraformer? No, not this. This, right? This was Terraformer? I'm not gonna lie. I am starting to just not... I don't know if it's the brainworms. I don't know if it's the age. I don't know if it's just because this game changes so goddamn much these days. And the amount of maps and map changes. I'm starting to forget fucking POI names, man. I cannot keep up. It's getting to that point. Connects Quarantine Zone. So it connects these 2 right here. That's good, actually. I think, right? If I'm reading that correctly. That is really fucking good. Because this is one of the... I also hated this as well. Obviously, this was a really hot spot to land. A lot of people liked going here, especially in ranked. One of my least favorite parts of this was, okay, hey guys, let's go find the next fight, right? Look, there's nothing in this area. Like, nobody's going to be out here, right? You're not going to go over here because of all this big wall. So when you land Terraformer, you pretty much only go this way, or you only go this way and around to this. And most of the time it was this one. And even then, that one was really annoying because you have to go, like, no matter what side, like if you're over here, you have to go all the way this way and then around. And I hated that shit. Like, rotating to the next fight after Terraformer was boring. I'm glad they're doing something to this wall, if I'm reading this correctly. I like that a lot. That's very good on them. Rotation between Terraformer and Stasis, nice anchor point. Okay. Perfect strategy planning for a while avoiding difficult chokes. Sorry, just reading how I imagine the average Apex player would read it. This is all right. Well, these are all probably just good. I'm just gonna skip this. Anytime there's new rotates on a map, I'm happy. Anyways, let's get back to the actual patch notes. All right, where were we at? Apex artifacts. Probably just gonna skip that because I'm sure you guys all have seen all that. Something about they're basically pulling a Valorant, and now you could like upgrade your fucking artifacts. We're starting the patch notes finally. An hour later. Although this is pretty good time for me. Care package, wingman returns to the floor. Yes, I've seen this or heard about this. Projectile size reduced to pre-care package values. Damage reduced to 45 was 50. Scope piercer removed, which is pretty big. Fire accuracy reduced, also really big, but I'm a little scared because I don't think this gun at all was inaccurate on controller. I swear to God, I will die on this hill. It's probably wrong, but I will die on this hill. I've tried wingman, MNK, and controller a lot, and I swear to God, both of those hipfires are coded differently. I do not believe the MNK wingman hipfire is anywhere near as accurate as controller. And like, aim assist aside, that shit's crazy. But anyways, I'm hoping this was like greatly reduced because the hipfire accuracy was insane for controllers and everyone. Now it takes boosted loader hop up, which is nice. Now it only takes mags as an attachment. So I believe it's 6 rounds default. Well, 6 rounds only. No mag is really interesting, and I kind of like that. I'm really curious if people will take it, because now it's like there's kind of a lot of risk assessed. There's a lot of risk with picking the weapon up. 6 rounds is not a lot when people are on red armor. So I feel like it's an early to mid game weapon, and then like swap it out for something else late game. Like I said, I need somebody refresh my memory. Does boost the loader do 1 or 2 bullets? It's 2, right? Correct? Yeah. Go from 6 to 8. All right, well, I'm gonna tell you the meta right now. You pick up a fucking wingman with a hipfire, or with the boosted loader, and you just instantly pre-jack that shit. Granted, people did that in the past too, but instantly pop that bitch to 8 bullets. Yeah, I think it's gonna be more of a early to mid game weapon. Late game, you're probably gonna want to take it out because like 6 and 8 bullets. 8 bullets isn't bad, but 6 bullets against red armors is not gonna do you very well unless you're hitting absolutely everything. Which there are people who are gonna be very good with it. Devotion enters the care package. New reverse hipfire. Sustained hipfire will tighten accuracy instead of widen. That's pretty cool. Is that just a base? That's not like a hop up. That's just like a base thing on it, I think, right? Damage increase to 16 was 15. That's fucking deadly. Magazine size increased to 54. Dude, what the? Was 48 a purple? Somebody do them. What does this mean for Rampart? Somebody give me the numbers for Rampart on this. 62. Oh my God. 62 with the damage increase. She can do 1,000 damage to the fucking body in 1 mag. She can 1 mag 2 teams. Jesus Christ. Just about. That's funny. That's actually really funny. Reserve ammo 324. That's a good amount, I think. Might be maybe a tad. That might be a little too much. No, actually no. The Devo goes through that pretty fast. Now that might be a pretty decent amount. I think that's going to be a very scary weapon. I don't think it's going to be one that people pass up on very much. Gold weapon rotation is Nemesis, Burst AR, Triple Take, Peacekeeper, Prowler, and Longbow. I like that. I like that rotation. I'm a Nemesis enjoyer, PK enjoyer, Prowler enjoyer. Don't really like the Longbow, but whatever. Triple Take's alright. I did see this is one of the biggest changes. I did already see this on Twitter. I mean, it's about time. You know, cue the obligatory T-Hump clip. Absolute treasure. I'm sure everyone's seen it at this point, but it's fucking amazing. It's gonna make the game more enjoyable just all around. Like, having some RNG, but also a little bit of predictability is still good. I will tell you one thing, this is going to change contests a lot. Not just in ranked and pubs, but especially in comp. Because you gotta think, there's a lot of spots in comp, when 2 teams contest a POI, a lot of them will drop on a heavy congregation of bins, and oftentimes, it's just decided by who gets a gun and who doesn't. Now, 1 player per bin is getting a fucking gun. So, this is gonna change contests a lot, and it's gonna change how people land and how they play them. So this is going to be people already prioritize loot bins for contests. Now it's going to be a like bloodbath for them. I saw this change as well. Collecting a banner will no longer lock the player out of critical gameplay actions. Dude, this one's about time, man. Players can immediately interact with the death box a second time while the animation is playing, or continue holding the interact button to collect and enter a death box in one flow. That's such a sick change. Yeah, it's happening. It's finally happening. That's a really good change. I'm really excited for that one. Good job, Hideouts. Survival items, support bins. Survival items now only spawn from a support bin's tray if the team is in need. What does that mean? Survival items have been feeling abundant lately, so reducing their frequency in support bins by only spawning them when players meet specific requirements, like needing a mobile respawn beacon when you've got eliminated allies. Wow, that's actually crazy. But my question to that is, how does the game detect if you're in need of an evac balloon? Like, are you, if you're far from zone, you get an evac tower? You know what I mean? Like, the Moby makes sense, but how does it know if you need, an evac tower? Weapons and attachments, 33rd repeater, Skull Piercer. Is this the first time Skull Piercer has been removed? It's been so many fucking updates. 33rd has been dominating the mid-long range for a few seasons. Recent adjustments weren't quite enough to dethrone it. Removing Skull Piercer should create some space. Yes and no. Like, people didn't pick it up because of that. At least not in comp. Anyways, Charge Rifle. ADS recoil improved and stabilized. The Charge Rifle remains a high-risk reward weapon. However, the risk slightly outweighs the reward. We've taken a smoothing pass at its recoil, so it shouldn't be quite so unwieldy when firing. Okay, look, maybe I'm out of touch, but who had a problem with the Charge Rifle recoil? Who was like, this is kicking too hard? Longbow DMR. Skull Piercer hop-up removed. Barrel Stabilizer attachment removed. Base recoil significantly improved. Projectile gravity reduced. ADS in and out of time. Oh, damn, they're juicing the longbow. We've always considered longbow a great entry-level sniper that's easy to run. Over time, we've come to realize that being a good entry-level weapon and requiring lots of attachments to come online are at odds with one another. Yes and no. Barrel Stabilizer, I think, on the longbow was quite literally the same as what I just said about the Charge Rifle. Personally, that's just my experience. Simplifying the longbow's loot chase to make it more base-level approachable is intended to improve its early game effectiveness and overall consistency as a sniper. Here's my thing with patch note wording. When it says base recoil significantly improved, does that mean it's easier, right? Like, improved is a word that connotes that it's easier, but sometimes it's a little... Did it improve the value of the recoil? In which case, it's not good. Okay, that's what I figured, but you know, it's just, you gotta... English is my second language, you know, I try to get better every day. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not a longbow enjoyer. I never really have been. I have felt like the gun was weak, though. Even though, like, I'm not good with the gun, I have felt like it was pretty weak for quite a while. Maybe they watched Wig uses the longbow, like, a lot and realized, man, this gun sucks, you know? So they decided they needed to show some love, and honestly, that's real. Triple Take. Now it takes boosted loader hop-up. Triple Take is a strong weapon on paper, but it can feel a bit sluggish to maximize damage output. Providing quick reloads and extra ammo in the mag allows players to keep pressuring for longer with more chances to punish. I've been in the wheelhouse for a while now that the Triple Take is actually pretty solid. Not the best weapon choice, but it's versatile, and it's insanely ammo efficient. I think I saw some APAC teams running it, and I was like, yes, sir. I don't think it's like a must pick up every single game. I do think NA heavily underrates the weapon, except for Nick Merckx. I think he was like the only person that picked it up. But if you're running like double energy, it's really not bad at all, especially because energy is popular and you can always take some of the attachments and swap them to a new gun. Like, well, by some, I mean like the sight and mag. So I think Triple Take was heavily underrated. Because for me personally, a lot of power in marksman rifles is also the other guns that are meta, right? Like when R9 was really good, Scout was really good as well. Same with R3, because you could just pretty much just seamlessly transfer. As soon as you needed to get rid of the gun on someone's death box, you could pick up theirs, and then it transfers most of the attachments that you need, right? That's a very small thing that a lot of people don't think about, but it's definitely a very real thing. Skull Piercer removed from loot pool. I like that. Boosted loader added to the loot pool. Oh, right, the Triple Take. I was like, wait, is it back on Hemlock? So is this still going to be on Hemlock, the boosted loader, or nah? I guess they didn't say they took it out. All right, boosted loader is going to be good again. Digi removed. Already, that's a big bang buff. Really big bang buff. I like that. I mean, I was a Digi enjoyer just because I like the sight, and I think there is a lot of visual clutter in the game, which makes the Digi threat better or like good to use in my opinion. Obviously, it just turned into a huge cheeseball attachment, which is not fun. But I think it inadvertently does buff bang a lot now, because now you really rely on the Hound ult to just kill everybody through it. Unless things changed. We'll see. Ash Arc Snare. Changed to left-hand cast. I did actually see that one. No longer stows weapons or interrupts consumables used when launching. That's a good one. That's surprisingly more impactful, I think, than most people will give it credit for. I don't think it's good still, but any ability that you can use while doing other actions is really strong. Phase Breach inspired by some altered tech. Nearby enemies will be highlighted for players traveling through the void. I mean, still not that great. Like, yeah, it's a buff, but I think Ash is still she just lacks so much compared to like every other legend in the game. It's kind of crazy. The real power to a change like this is you don't have to arc snare first and then bat or something like that, you know what I mean? Because that does take time. Now you can do both. It speeds up the tempo of Ash's fights a lot more, being able to do any character that can do this shit, that can do multiple actions like this, their tempo in their fights is just faster than most characters that can't. So it's a nice little change. It's not going to make her anything crazy, but it's a nice little change that'll make the 2 Ash players in the world feel a little bit better. Ballistic. Whistler damage from a planted smart bullet increased to 10 was 5. It's a weird change. So it has to be planted to do more. I'm guessing like if you run into it, it just does like 10 damage. Grades. Care package insight removed. New slingshot. Okay, they had these. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? So they're changing out around some ballistic stuff. Okay. They took out the basically giving ballistic a skirmisher, skirmisher passive to slingshot, which sling weapons level up with each upgrade selection. Okay. Replacing a lackluster perk with something more interesting, especially for those ballistic players that like tapping into their sling weapons in non-ult scenarios. 3 attack-related upgrades is plenty. Let's make some room for that 3rd weapon. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean like the gun itself goes from like blue to purple and you just get those attachments? That's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. As a level 2 perk, that's actually really good. Is it going to push ballistic into like meta? No, but that is like for ballistic players. I mean, that is definitely a much, this is actually one thing I got on a call with them, and like when they asked me about how I felt about this system, I told them like, look, realistically, like just get rid of the boring perks and try to add more interesting ones. That's a good one. Like giving skirmisher perk is whatever, but changing it to that, like your sling weapon levels up every time is really good. Like that's a very interesting one. Bloodhound. Curious about these changes. Beast of the Hunt. Cooldown increased to 4 minutes, was 3 minutes. Nice. Love that. Knocks with ult active no longer extend duration. I kind of fuck with it. That kind of sucks because I like that part of the ult, but like I am also sick of Bloodhound at this point. If anyone has been here a long time, or if you're new, then I'll enlighten you. Bloodhound is one of my least favorite characters and has been like for the game and has been for a long time. I do not enjoy Bloodhound. I think I don't mind, it's not that I mind wall hacks necessarily, it's that Bloodhound gives players that lack game sense in team fights, gives them the freest button of their life for their entire team to just instantly know what to do if they know how to fight well. And it just gives them a cheesy ass ult that just lets them do whatever the fuck they want, that makes them pretty much invincible in a fight. Not like literally, but you know what I mean. I do not like Bloodhound as a character. Just a personal bias. I'm down for knocking Bloodhound down as many pegs as possible. But again, that's just personal bias. At least I'll admit it. Upgrades level 3. Tactical cooldown removed. Taste of Blood buffed HP gain on knock to 50 was 25. That is pretty solid. Then a new long hunt. Oh, now. Okay, so they're nerfing Bloodhound but putting that part back on the ult. Okay. I feel like you would take this every time though. I'm not gonna lie. Extra duration, especially now that it's 4 minutes long, the cooldown. Anything that increases the duration is just gonna give you more value, I think. Beast of the Hunt. We don't have to read it all. I'm sure you guys are all well aware of what Bloodhound can do and how strong Bloodhound is, so I'm all about it. Okay, Catalyst. Piercing Spikes. Cooldown decreased to 20 seconds, was 25 seconds. Not bad. Longcast upgrade integrated into base tactical. What was the Longcast again? Increased spike throw range by 40%. Okay, interesting. All right. Dark Veil. Dark Veil length increased to 45 meters, was 40 meters. Okay. Upgrades. I know they touched Catalyst's like tree a lot more, right? New Pharaoh Door. Fully rebuild and reinforce missing doors with passive. Okay. That's very interesting. That's really good. So instead of it being, so it goes from being what, 1 kick to 4 kicks? That's good. That's pretty good. I've always thought that it would be crazy to have a legend that could do that. Or increase ultimate lifetime by 5 seconds. Oh, these are different too, actually, yeah. Increase ultimate length by 15. Oh, so they put Long Veil over here. I see. Wow, okay, wait a minute. Catalyst might actually be good again. So the blue perk now is to increase ult length by 15. And then they still have Sister Spikes, which is the same as it was this current season. Catalyst might be good again. So a lot of the difficulty of Catalyst was obviously they nerfed Catalyst wall length and they nerfed Catalyst wall cooldown. And the problem last patch was, if you look right here, breakout level 3, they undid the nerfs by putting it on purple, on the purple tier. And the reason that's a problem is that, at least in comp, obviously like, you know, pubs ranked, it's whatever. It's still like kind of detrimental to have to get to purple to get those. But in comp, the problem was you play Catalyst. Obviously, ideally, you play Catalyst to sit in buildings and go to zone and play her as a zone character. You can play her as not a zone character. She can survive on edge. It's a little risky. Rotates are going to be a little crazy. Obviously, having a nerfed ult on both of these accounts is going to be a little harder to rotate with. So putting this Yeah, putting the longer wall on blue armor is actually really good. That means you'll leave your POI most of the time having the increased length on the wall. That's pretty good. That's really good for rotating again. You don't really need sister spikes that well, at least in comp. Like in comp, you're taking this every single time. Every time. That's just way too good. I don't think you really need more spikes. Like how many times were you like, fuck, I need another spike for this area to hold it off, you know what I mean? And then, so for her entirely new level 3 perks are Pharaoh Door, which is fully rebuild and reinforce missing doors with passive. Very good. Like, really fucking good. Insanely good. Because, sure, you could put up walls or doors again from her prior passive, but one kick and they're dead. Like, it's basically if you don't watch that door, it's gone. Somebody can push it if they really want to. If you're fighting on a building and like that door goes away by like a nade or something, it's not the biggest deal. If the Catalyst reinforced it with her current version, it's not like the end of the world. You just kick it once and you're fine. But now, every time she reinforces a door, it's going to be 4 kicks. Or commit a nade or like an ability to it. My only question is, they don't say it here at all, I don't think. If her passive cooldown timer is the same as it is now, that means I think that she can just keep rebuilding the door over and over. Or I'm not familiar with this. I could be wrong on this. Or does her passive cooldown trigger once the door is blown off? If it's like that, then it's the same. But if it's not, if it's just like as soon as you use it, the passive cooldown triggers, then you can just keep rebuilding doors and people aren't going to be able to get in. I would imagine it's not, I would hope it's not like that. Maybe they just didn't put it in the notes, but maybe they have like something against that. The other one is increase ultimate lifetime by 5 seconds. I think there's actually times where you would want this, because you don't need Pharaoh Door if you're not playing buildings. If it's like a really open zone, for example, like obviously one that comes to mind for me for playing Wedge, like if it's like a zone anywhere like up here, which we saw a lot of at LAN, it's just one of those situations where you'd want to plan ahead of time, right? If you're gonna hit purple, try to think of where you're gonna play, and if you both are gonna be good, but obviously you don't want to take this if you're not going to play around any buildings or doors. Caustic, gas damage and slow non-stops. Gas damage and slow now stops immediately after Caustic squad is eliminated. That's very good. Sometimes you can do like an extra tick or two before it dissipated. Very good. Gas damage ramps from 4 to 10 max, was 5 to uncapped. I don't know why they ever did this. This one was like Caustic was already getting picked, and then we saw this change. That one was a surprise to me, I can't lie. Damage on knocked players down to flat 4 was 5, also good. I don't like, it doesn't even need a ramp, man. But whatever, it's still good. Still good nerf. We'll take the nerf. Conduit, radiant transfer, that is for Q. Can no longer target a remnant while Force Shadows is active. I did see that. I don't really like that change, only because it's like we're getting into this probably is gonna go over most people's heads. We're getting into like Dota levels of weird, where like abilities, you would think the way abilities act the way they do, the way they read, but then there's like weird fringe cases where they just don't work, and I don't really like that. I obviously hate this interaction as much as everyone else did, but I just think it's a bit weird. Like, it just makes the game, for like casual players or people who don't play the game as much, it starts to introduce weird fringe cases where you're like, I don't understand why this isn't working type thing. You know what I mean? I just hope we don't keep going down that road of like, this ability does this, except in this situation, and also that one, and stuff like that. You know, I just hope we don't get too many of those, because then the game's already really confusing for new players. Believe it or not, like this is a hard game to play. Most people kind of forget that. Upgrades, battery collection removed. So I feel like a lot of these ones that they're taking out are like the boring ones that are just like, yeah, just the boring ones. I'm wondering if maybe they just didn't have enough ready to go, so they just kind of put in a boring like kind of placeholder. But I like that they're starting to like already tackle these a lot. New bat pack. That's good. I like that. I approve. Can stack up to 3 shield batteries per inventory slot. That's actually really good. I like that. I kind of think you always still take this. In pubs, you probably just take this one. Like if you're playing pubs, maybe even ranked, you take this. I think comp, definitely always take bigger jam. It's just like the more selfless one. Don't get me wrong. Being able to carry 3 batteries in one slot is really strong, because 2 batteries doesn't always quite cut it, and having 3 batteries take up 2 slots is quite annoying if you don't have like a 4th one. Don't get me wrong, this is much stronger than it seems, that it might seem, because it frees up an extra inventory slot if you're just going with the bare minimum. I think if you want to be much more useful, I think you still take bigger jam. But either way, it's nice that you can choose which way to play though. That's one thing I want that I ultimately want these talent trees to do, is to just have you always have the ability to choose to play different ways. and make them both kind of work. Crypto, Neuralink. Oh, got a lot of stuff here. Network traffic upgrade now integrated into base kit, which I'm assuming is... I was like, what the fuck is... Okay, yeah, it's one of his perks. Squad count banners are now visible anytime the drone is in a deployed state. That's actually pretty cool. I'm guessing if the drone is just out, you can see it even on crypto. You don't have to be in the drone. That's actually pretty cool. That's a solid change. All right, so the rest of these are all upgrades. So let's just read about them down here. So yeah, like this, for example. Okay, so I think they were just placeholders. Reduce attack cooldown by 10 seconds. Reduce ult cooldown by 20 seconds is going out the window. Coming in now will be passive and ult range increased by 25%. That's his Neuralink. Someone's fucking hacking into my computer. Improved drone handling. Be curious to see what that looks like. Then for level 3, passive and ult range increased by 25%, so they moved that to level 2. Deploying the drone calls out squads in the area. That's just now... Yeah, okay, so that's just now... That's just integrated base kit. Damn, okay, so crypto's getting some love, for sure. Hackathon. Double drone recharge rate gains speed boost when it explodes. Like your character? Like crypto gets a speed boost? Yeah, yes, no, yeah, that's interesting. His drone, they cooked on that one, but I think I like is it like the next one you pull out? Like it explodes. It's not going to be getting any speed. The crypto gets a speed boost, not the drone. I was going to say, like, there's no way, because like, how's the drone going to get a speed boost if it explodes? 2 times 0 is 0. Are you dev note? Okay, good comes. And then drone scan persists for 1.5 seconds. Okay. Crypto's upgrades at the start of season 20 left a lot to be desired. We hope the suite of changes resonates with a couple of different playstyles. Predicament. We'll probably have to look at a video on that one. Wait, cut the drone half, gain speed at the same time uses his ult, or the drone is... Okay, yeah, okay. They left a little bit out of there. That's actually pretty big. Fusey. I've been playing a lot of Fuse, actually. I've always been a Fuse enjoyer. Fuse upgrades. Big Bang removed. New Master Ring. Gain access to Ring consoles. You know, I heard about this being rumored. That's insane, actually. That's fucking crazy, actually. Holy. It is wild that something as simple as this can turn a character into, like, pretty meta. You could be seeing a lot of Fusies. Fuse is pretty solid against Caustic. He's solid pretty much against all of the controller characters. Except maybe Wattson, but like you can just shoot her thing out first. Like if you were to run zone Fuse with, and the Fuse is your console character, the one downside is you have to be level 2 to be able to get the zone. Like you won't be able to hit a zone console right away, right? You'd have to get level 2 first, which doesn't take long, but it will certainly cut out times for early rotates. Scar Tissue. Simplified and buff damage mitigation to remove lingering burn effects. Take a flat 20 damage when crossing the middle instead of 37, 50% of 75 HP over time. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that actually. Because it was, for me, like every time I would run through the fire, it would do, like I couldn't get a good beat on how much damage it was really going to do. Like 37 HP over time is such a random number. So flat 20 is actually very nice. Very nice. Reckless. Fixed explosive damage mitigation not being applied on continuous knuckle cluster hits. Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, I think Fuse is really good. I think this is gonna make things very interesting. I think you will see a lot of zone Fuse. I did actually see a Newcastle change. I thought was pretty good. Mobile shield, throw animation speed increased 2.5 times faster. That's nice. Always nice little, nice to have that. That means, I believe that means the shield will come out faster than it does now. The castle wall will now destroy incoming projectiles headed towards the front of the wall while energized. It will not destroy projectiles fired from behind the wall nor bombardments from other legends' ultimate projectiles. So that's obviously, that sounds strong, but that I think is stronger than most people realize. I'm a massive Newcastle enjoyer. I think he is one of the hardest characters in the game to play, period, and which is why he's not great in this current meta, because he doesn't really do anything against visual clutter or for visual clutter, so he kind of falls short there. But I do think a lot of the reason, even when he is strong and can be strong in a meta, a lot of the reasons people don't play him is just because he's fucking hard. I'm curious to see, we need to see how it works exactly, right? Like, currently, obviously, when his wall is energized, it stuns you, it shocks you, it does a decent amount of damage, and it slows you really fucking hard. If you don't know, when it's energized, you actually can't jump through, any bit of the front side. Like, you can't go through any of, like, the windows, no matter what. You will get fucking stunned. The hitbox on it is huge. Intentionally. You cannot go through the front of the wall if it's energized, like, in any capacity. I'm curious if that massive hitbox that already exists for hitting you, I'm curious if that's the hitbox for like the projectile deflection or destroys it, sorry. Because if it is, that means people can't even throw nades or anything through the wall, which is crazy. Because I think he also doesn't he have, I could be wrong about this, but doesn't he have a perk where he also gets like 3 minutes on the energize or something like that? He is his own like defense to his, he counters what was his weakness now on his own, which is huge. You could see some Newcastles now. You probably won't see a lot again because I think NA heavily underrates Newcastle, I think. Even when my team was doing really well with Newcastle, people who were still like, oh, he's shit. I'm like, really? Because I don't know. I see a lot of interesting gameplay coming out in the next meta. I'm sure it'll all probably still not change too much from Caustic, Bloodhound, probably Bang, because now Digis don't even exist. Like, here's the thing. The problem with Digis not existing anymore is that now it also buffs Bloodhound. It makes Bloodhound ult even stronger. It means unless they have a Bloodhound, you're not gonna get shit on. You know what I mean? Which is annoying. Through visual clutter, that is. So, like, I don't think the meta, sadly, will change too much from there. Anyways. Oh, yeah, wait, it was right here. Actually, I just saw this. Sorry, I thought it was somewhere else that I saw it, but yeah, so Newcastle's ult, the energized duration is increased from 3 minutes to 2.5. The perk. Yeah, so he does have a perk for it. I'm gonna have to play a lot more Newcastle. I kind of miss playing Newcastle. He's really fun. Even his base one. Okay, I completely glossed over that. His base one is also 1 minute now. That's really good, man. That is his biggest threat was fuse plus or any nades. This is his biggest weakness. So the fact that he can counter his own biggest weakness inherently in his own kit might make him, it might not, I don't know if it'll push him to meta, because like the meta just isn't take a spot and like fortify as much right now, but it will definitely make him a lot stronger if you like to play Newcastle. I will probably play a lot of Newcastle this season. Octane, I don't know if anyone really cares. I guess he still is like one of the most played characters, but I'm like, I've like never seen this. I swear to God, no one ever picks him in my games. So it looks like it's all just traits. So look at it here. Currently, the blue trait is minus 25% stim damage, minus 50% explosive damage. Those have been changed or taken out to now gain an extra launch pad charge is now on his blue one, was previously the purple one. That's pretty good. Take 5 less stim damage is probably the same, I'm guessing. Now to take 5 less stim damage to reflect that it can be selected twice was minus 25%. Oh, okay. I don't know how the numbers work on that if you were to take it twice. Previous purple perks were gain extra launchpad charge, and now it's blue. And then change directions, launchpad double jump. That one's still there, so they just threw in another thick skin. So does he take like no damage if you were to take both of those? But I'm saying, like, is that stim is 20 damage, so now it takes less. So if you were to take both of them, you take 10 less damage. That's pretty good. I mean, like, that's not like necessarily, the only thing is that isn't what makes Octane necessarily that bad, though. You know what I mean? I do think it's interesting that you can opt to take 10 less damage, or you could do like 5 less damage and then one of the others. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty cool. I feel like most people are just going to do gain an extra launchpad charge and then maybe 5 less stim damage. Change directions with launchpad double jump isn't bad, but like, it's not game changing. This isn't bad or game changing either. Either way, I don't think like Octane's anything crazy. Wattson upgrades. Falling Stars pylon will stop spawning arc stars when your squad's eliminated. I didn't even know it did that. That's kind of funny. Split circuit no longer reduces shield regen capacity. So you get 2 pylons that have full healing? That's really fucking... Wait, what? Is that what that means? Does anyone know what this means then? You'd put a pylon down and it can heal half the amount of HP or shield it normally did. So my question is, does this mean that now you can... So you basically get the 2 pylon perk with the ultimate accelerant use increase at full shield capacity? If so, then honestly, that seems really good. That went from pick the double health one to like, I feel like you always pick this one now. Like, it just means you can have 2. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That's not as good as I thought. Because if you get like 2 charges of it, then I'm like, yeah, what the hell's the point of the other one? That's still pretty good though. Because the big one is using alt accelerants twice as fast. That's really, really big. That's really big on Wattson. Wraith. Into the Void, Dimensional Rift, and nearby enemies will be highlighted for players traveling through the Void. Okay, so they're kind of doing like... They're kind of just making any Void-based, portal-based shit a little bit more like easier to discern what's going on. That's not bad. I don't think we need to read any of this because I've went over the maps, the modes. Who cares? You're going to play it regardless if you do. Ranked. All players in the premier ranked squad must be within 3 rank tiers of each other. They will not be allowed to progress matchmaking. No tuning changes to be made to rank scoring for the launch of Upheaval. Okay. We're happy with how Breakout Ranked was received. There's some feedback that we want to address for the start of Upheaval. As always, we'll be monitoring feedback and data for any required tuning changes during the season and any major updates required for the future. Okay. Nothing really special there, obviously. Split timing. Split 2 will take place same as the 0.1 patch. I like the a lot more like, I like the addition of these dev notes and a little bit more just transparency through these patch notes, definitely. Oh, I saw this actually. This is huge. Improved end. Well, it's pretty arbitrary, but improved end ring generation system. It sounds good, but we'll see. Anyway. Let's see if there's anything else just juicy here. But anyways, overall, dude, yeah, honestly, like, actually really solid patch notes. A lot of times I'm like, oh, some of these things are good, some of these things are bad. I think everything in the patch notes is pretty good. I can't think of anything I don't really like. If there's anything bad about the patch notes is maybe not changing certain things, like a lack of certain things where it's like I'm sure a lot of people want to see Havoc changed. Obviously, I know that was like that's been a recent big pain point. It's weird to say like I'm kind of okay with the Havoc. I don't know. I feel like at least from an MK player, it gives us a chance to fight back. It's a gun that like is really hard to be bad with. All right, I'm gonna throw the James back on while we outro here for a bit. It's 4:20 in the morning. Blaze it.